Good morning, guys. Today it is Saturday and I am on a mission. There is no retreat and there is no surrender today. I need to get this done.
It's coffee time.
I have been thinking for a while that it is time for me to catalog my book collection because when I am out and about, sometimes it is hard for me to remember if I have certain books. Normally, it's books that belong to a book series. The majority of cases, when I'm searching online for stuff, I don't remember which point horror ones I have. I mean, not all of them. The ones I have read, I do remember, but the ones that I have not read yet, it's harder for me to know which ones I have. Same goes for Goosebumps or other series like that. And I thought it is time to put everything in an app on my phone, so anytime, anywhere, I can check the books that I have. Because otherwise, I might buy things double or I might pass on offers that are really good thinking I already have it when I don't. And I thought to myself as well, this is a great opportunity for me to kind of clean and reorganize the shelves a little bit. Plus also, it is the first time ever that I am going to count the books that I own in physical form and also count how many of those have I actually read. So basically I'm here to expose myself.
Okay.
I'm not gonna count like books that I have, like learning books, from when I was studying, or books that I have recently purchased for my acting classes or stuff like that. I'm gonna count my fiction books and my non-fiction ones, but the ones that are about horror or true crime, or the ones that I, consider part of my TBR pile. I also just recorded a book haul yesterday, and my idea was actually to upload this video first and then the book haul. But now I realize that it makes no sense because you're probably gonna see all the books around now that I have already hauled, and then it's gonna spoil the majority of the books maybe that I had to talk about on that book haul. So I am gonna upload the book haul first and then you'll get to see this video. And it is always a little bit daunting when you are preparing to clean, reorganize your shelves, add all the new books that you purchased after recording a book haul. You booktubers, you understand what I'm talking about. And so I'm gonna need a lot of strength today, but I am determined to make it happen. Now, the way I'm gonna do it is I downloaded on my phone years ago an app to do this. And then I never did it. So the app is called Libby, and I downloaded, like I said, years ago, and I even entered here like my name, which is whatever I put back in the day. I might change it to Horror Sickness now. And I also entered like the first list. It's just called Horror Books, and I didn't move forward from there. That was my attempt. And it never happened, and I'm determined today to make it happen. So I'm gonna do horror books. I think I will add another thing for romance books because I have some of those, fantasy books. I'm not gonna divide, I think, middle grade, YA, and adult. That's gonna be, I think, too much. I'm just gonna do horror in general. And the good thing is that this has, when you try to add a book, you can do it manually or you can do it by barcode. So I'm hoping that a lot of these books are gonna be already pre-registered, so I don't have to manually add a lot of things. That is my hope. But we shall see, and I will show you guys how things are looking. And while I'm doing it, while I'm entering the books, I will calculate on a separate sheet if I have read them or not, and bring you the stats at the end of the video. So I hope that you enjoy the process. I'm gonna go bit by bit and I'm gonna take my time, but also I want to be efficient today. I'm gonna be listening to some music to motivate myself, to pump myself up. So that's the plan for today, you guys, and wish me luck. I'm gonna have to move this baby. She's always here, as you can tell by all the cat hair that is on the chair. I swear I clean this chair every other day and it's always full of white fluff. But how can I say no to this baby? Have you seen this baby? She can have anything she wants anytime. Sorry. Things we have learned. The old hardcover books that I own from Stephen King, not all of them can be scanned. But I do want to know which hardcovers I have from Stephen King, because this is an author that I always doubt if I have it or not when I'm out and about. And my mission is to collect all Stephen King books in hardcover whenever I find them at secondhand stores. So it is important for me to know which ones I do have in hardcover. I think I'm gonna eat up my words and I'm gonna make different lists for YA and middle grade, because I can see myself in the future scrolling down a huge horror book list trying to find it. So I think it's best if I do middle grade YA and adult. I didn't want to make so many lists, but I think it kind of makes sense, because if I'm looking into Goosebumps books, I only have to look through one list that is not that long. So I think that's what I'm gonna do. I hope that's the right decision. So far I have horror books, nonfiction, and Stephen King. So I think I'm gonna do middle grade YA separate. Yeah, and let's go for it. I think first I have deserved a little bit more of coffee. And I have to add all of these Goosebumps books that I have hauled into my middle grade shelves. So I got this. I got this. So it's going a little bit faster than I thought, which is amazing, because this app has the majority of the barcodes. There's only been a couple that I had to manually enter, but for the most part it scans everything fairly quickly. So my Stephen Kings and my middle grades are done, and I'm jumping over to YA books, which, you know, there's a few YA books that I owned. I'm only doing mystery thrillers now. I'm gonna separate the YA that is fantasy or that is romance. I'm gonna put the romance all together. I don't know if I'm gonna separate romance and contemporary fiction. We'll see. But for now, we're tackling YA horror thrillers. So let's go. Wish me luck. By the way, Bite Risk is getting a sequel in the month of March, and I didn't know it. How didn't I know this? What's going on? So I'm really excited because I really enjoyed this book. And I didn't know I was getting a sequel, and now it's already out, so it's like best present ever, so I'm gonna get it, obviously. I recommend it if you want a book on werewolves, and it's like a YA book on werewolves. It was very good. It's time to go to my point horror books. I'm so excited. I might try to reorganize them now in publication order. Should I do this to myself right now? I think I should, because it's gonna be so satisfying. Should be here. Campfire, yes, bitch. Oh, my new babies. My new babies. I love you. I love you so much. I promise I'm okay. I'm mentally stable. I'm okay. Okay. Can't a girl be excited about her new point horror books? I mean, it's what brings me joy and happiness today.
Nobody asked.
Let's first of all count how many I have and how many I have read. That's a funny one. 6. I read 6 out of 35. I have a lot of work ahead of me. Challenge accepted. Alright, let's organize this shit. A little update, I have finished with the YA books, the mystery thriller / horror YA books. So I think now it's a good time to take a break because I need to have lunch. I'm getting really hungry. So I'm gonna take a break to have lunch, and then I'm gonna move forward with my adult horror section, which is obviously quite big because it includes all the mystery thrillers and all the vintage paperbacks and all the Richard Lehman books and stuff. But once I have that, I will have the majority of things that are the most important to me because those are the books that I normally tend to try to collect and source when I'm somewhere. So those are the most important ones that I need to have on my phone, but I'm still gonna try to do all of them today. I'm still gonna attempt that. Hopefully I find the strength. So I am gonna have lunch, probably make more coffee, and we will continue with our mission. Like I said, never give up, so I should remind myself that I cannot give up. I can't. Okay, back from lunch. Coffee is ready. Let's tackle the horror adult section. Yeah. Okay, let's go. This is gonna be embarrassing because there's many of these I have not read. I'm not gonna lie. There's many of these I have not read yet. And I should have, so happy birthday to me. Okay. It's gonna be the pile of shame. Let's go. I'm ready. I'm ready to, you know, admit it. I'm ready. Okay. You know, admitting that you have a problem is always the first step. So, I admit it. I should have read many of these already, but it is what it is. It is what it is. So I have made it to the thrillers, to the mystery thrillers. It's taking a bit longer than I anticipated because some of the old paperbacks were not in the system and I had to enter those manually. But I'm hoping that now that all of those are done, that it doesn't happen anymore. Or not that often. And so maybe I can go a bit quicker now. But I'm guessing I'll see you guys, I don't know, in like 10 hours. When I'm finished. But yeah, I'm currently on the mystery thrillers. Then I'm gonna go to the YA fantasy and stuff and see how fast I can get this done because I do want to get this done today, you guys. So I'll see you on the other side. it is a day later, but I would like to report that I have finished cataloging all of my books. And I think it took me a little bit longer than I anticipated in the first place because a lot of the like older paperbacks, they didn't have like proper numbers, so the app couldn't really register them right away, so I had to manually enter those books. I think in the future though, I would like to slowly tweak those entries in the app and add more information, like if a book is paperback, if a book is hardcover and stuff like that. You can also take pictures of your edition in case the covers are different, so when I am somewhere I know which editions I exactly have. If I want to upgrade from paperback to hardback in the case of Stephen King, because I want to collect all of his hardbacks. Maybe then there's other books which I'm not so happy about the cover, and maybe if I find them in a better edition, then I can grab those. So I might tweak it in the future. But for now, I'm really happy that I was able to catalog all of them so that I know when I am out and about which ones I already own, because sometimes they can get confusing, like I said, especially with things like Point Horror, Goosebumps, that kind of stuff, or book series, because when I'm out and about, I'm always looking for the Suki Stackhouse books, the books where the TV show True Crime was based upon, because I would like to binge the series at some point, and I have been picking up a book here and there secondhand, and I always forget which ones I have because the covers and the titles, I don't know, I confuse them all the time, so I never know if I already have it or not. So now I'm gonna be able to see if I actually own it and hopefully complete that series so that I can read it in one go. That's what I've been keeping it for. Now we're gonna take a look at the numbers, the statistics, to see how many books I own, how many books I have read, and I have split them also in different categories. Plus, I'm also gonna mention the ebooks that I have on my Kindle. I have a total of 431 adult horror books, a total of 130 middle grade horror books, 209 YA horror, 135 YA, fantasy, sci-fi, like it's all there in a bundle, and I have 92 romance slash contemporary. I didn't want to make 300,000 different categories, so I have grouped together fantasy and sci-fi, and I have grouped together romance and contemporary, because I don't have also that many of those. So I thought it was better to have less categories in the app, because if I keep on adding categories, at some point it's gonna become a huge list in the app, and maybe it's gonna end up defeating the purpose, because then I have to really scroll through all of these lists trying to look for the list that I need. So I think like this is gonna be easier for me. So now let's talk about how many of the ones that I own I have actually read. Now, I would like to point out here as well that a lot of times I read a book and I really enjoyed it, but it's not a book that I can see myself rereading, or maybe it's books that I didn't give like a really high rating, and so a lot of the books I immediately unhold them or donate them, you know, whatever the case might be. And so I was not expecting my read physical pile to be really high anyway, because I do try to keep only the ones that I really want for the collection, or the ones that I really want because I really enjoy them. That being said, from adult horror books, I have read a total of 151. I have read 37 of my middle grade books, 76 of my YA horror, 57 of the fantasy sci-fi, and 46 of rom-coms and contemporary books. So that means that I have a total of unread TBR pile of 280 for the adult horror category, 93 for the middle grades, 133 for the YA horrors, 78 of the fantasy and science fiction, and 46 of the rom-coms and contemporary books. So I guess it's not that bad. I think I was expecting it worse, even though there's still a lot that I have not read. But like I said, it's mostly because I don't keep all the books that I read. A lot of them come in, I read them, and they come out again. And it is mostly because I don't want to have books like in other than these bookshelves. I don't want to add more shelves to the house for books, so I want to keep books that I really want, or books that I really loved and I could see myself rereading. So from time to time I, you know, just purge a little bit through my shelves, and that has been a blessing for me to just be like, okay, you have this amount of shelves, you have to make it work like this. I don't know if it's going to change in the future, to be honest, because the more books that I keep because I love, maybe I need a little bit more of extra space, but this is where we are at the moment. But also in 2024, I do have to make an effort to read a lot more of my ebooks, because I have so many ebooks. And this is because for many years I have been collecting some ebooks in my Kindle and not really reading them. I kind of forget they're there. When I do my TBR piles, I look for the books that I have on my physical TBR pile, but I forget to check what I have on my Kindle. And so this year I really want to make a priority to read more ebooks. So I decided to count them as well. And I have so many unread books on my Kindle, it's a little bit embarrassing. But there is a lot of books that I got, like I said, you know, in the last couple of years. It's not all books that I just recently purchased. And a lot of them were from Kindle Unlimited, which means I either paid nothing for them or very little. And so it is very tempting. Also in my Kindle, I have the majority of my romance TBR pile, because I feel like for me, romance books are things that I normally read one time and I never reread them. There's a couple of exceptions, and those I will get in physical form, but the majority of romance books that I consume are books that I will read one time and I don't need to reread. So when it comes to my ebooks, I have split them in 4 categories, which is just horror, romance, thrillers, and just the rest. The rest are basically other genres, including nonfiction. I only have like 4 nonfiction, I think, so it was not even that much. So let's get to it. I have a total of 68 horror books on my Kindle. I have 42 thrillers. I have 51 books of other genres, including also nonfiction. And I have 46 books that are romance books. So that makes a total of 207 unread books on my Kindle. And the only ones that I have read, I have in a separate folder, so I always know which ones I have read. And I have a total of 48 read on my Kindle. The rest is all unread books. A little bit overwhelming, but I'll get to them at some point. There's also a couple of horror novellas in there, which I think I will try to tackle ASAP, because those are quick reads, and then I'll feel better that I already have more on my read folder. So I have divided my Kindle in different folders. I had never done that before, and it was really overwhelming for me to pick books and know what I had. And I feel like now that I have taken the time to split them into different categories and all of that, it's gonna make it easier for me as well to pick up books for my monthly TBRs. And that was all, you guys. Thank you for keeping me company while I organized a little bit my bookshelves, and I basically have taken accountability for all of the books that I own that I have not read yet. I've been meaning to do this for a long time for several reasons. You know, first of all, because I wanted to have lists on an app of everything that I physically own, because that's very helpful, like I said, when I'm out and about buying books, but also because I wanted to know how many of the books that I own I have actually read and kept, and which ones that I own I have not read yet, and see also which genres I have read the least from and all of that. So it was a lot of fun for me to do. I hope you guys had also a lot of fun watching it. If you didn't know, you guys, I do have a Patreon now, so if you want to join us, the link is down below. Thank you as always so much for watching, and I'll see you all as always in our next coffee time. Bye!